Oh, here we are again now, and it's like no time has passed. Gazing out upon the sunset as it sinks into the night. Many times it seemed as though a given day might be our last. Face to face with certain death, it's somehow coming out alright. I don't think that we have any cause to lament, but there's quite a lot of thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent, thrilling intent.
And now, as our eyes focus in a little more intently on Tannhauser, I think it's actually interesting in itself to cast our gaze elsewhere, to look across the ocean to a land slightly more familiar to us. Right now, we focus in on Keravia. It's the country to the north of Honorant, and it is known for its potent necromancy, skeleton affiliation, and horrible diseased necro-wind that cleaves the flesh of the undead and the living alike. This sort of natural, supernatural disaster, created through multitudes and multiple ages of magi meddling, has plagued Keravia and made travel all but impossible, especially near the northern reaches, which we now find ourselves traveling through. The Ashen Knight finds himself actually rather unhampered by the awful necro winds. They do little to claw away at his form, and that fire seems to force them back. However, Thog and, well, maybe Colvin, Thog mostly, doesn't seem to be faring too well. This blizzard has contained within it bits of ash, almost dirt deprived of any and all life. This sandy substance whips up and whirls around you. This isn't cold, not in the traditional sense. It's cold in a way that feels more fundamental to the soul. It deprives one of life, not heat. Thog takes an unsteady step forward, almost tripping amidst the snowy slush.
All right, we're almost there.
Colvin looks around. I wonder if I can get above the storm.
I would not recommend such a thing, though your capabilities still baffle me.
Colvin points over. See? I see a big towering mountain over there, and I don't see any storm clouds around that. He points off into the fucking abyss.
I suppose that is an option you have, though I am concerned that the distance would take too long and you would be cleaved by the wind anyways.
I think I can outrun a little silly wind. Check this out. Colvin takes off into the distance. Dog just watches him go. Yeah, feel like I should be used to that at this point, but not.
This is a common occurrence.
Yeah. I mean, that guy just kind of says and does whatever he wants. I just learned to accept it, like the fact that he can get away with. He takes another step, like sort of pitching to the side, like he can get away with walking around in whatever this crap sack is. He tries to kick his foot and like almost fucking ducks below the surface of the snow.
Yeah, Ashen Knight, I envision the wind is probably coming from the north, right? Or something. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's like it's whipping and swirling around you. It almost feels like your surroundings are trying to attack you, is the best way to put it. Coming up with a clear direction from it is rather hard, but if you were going to pinpoint one, north is a good call.
Yeah. Ashen Knight has occasionally swung his sword because he is able to cleave magical effects, so he's hoping that would help Thog in some capacity.
Yeah, it's funny. You put your sword down and it almost hisses amidst the snow, burning away what is condensation, what is water, leaving behind only that ash, and it seems to almost create little pockets of warm air behind it, but it takes Thog a little bit of moving forward. You sort of giving him a little bit of cover. Thanks. I'll be ready for more of this just after a little sleep.
Yes, I think it's wise. I'm glad I'm with the smart one.
You look off into the distance. There is no sign of Colvin. That's fine, probably.
Ashen Knight actually, like, puts his hand out in the wind and, like, has a moment thinking back to his husband.
No.
You head inside this small, like, it appears to be some sort of I wouldn't call it an inn, because an inn would imply that there's a second floor, beds, places for people to stay. This, at the very best, is a stopover. It's the evolved form of a lean-to. This is a place that was built for people to take temporary and brief, very brief refuge against the cloying winds. You duck down and move inside. Yeah, you move inside this space, and it's full of a bunch of smashed up lumber. Just taking a quick look around, there's a few barrels, but they're relatively large, and appear to be full of potable water. Likely some final mercy provided to you by this shelter. Ashen Knight, you don't need a drink, but for Thog, that's going to be life-saving.
And this is actually filled with water over here, this little tub.
It is, yes.
I would wager this would be useful for you later.
Ashen Knight actually sets his superheated sword in the tub and lets it start to boil the water.
There we go.
Oh, that's exciting. So little bits of magic actually sort of pop and react to it. You notice near the bottom there seems to be some sort of like rune craft or rune work set into the flooring to keep the water clean, basically. The mages had their way about this, and you managed to get it to a roiling boil.
Yeah. Later on, if you want to have a hot bath, it's an option now.
Oh, that'd be a mercy. He says, moving over. He picks up, like, he dips his hands in, and, like, it's hot. He doesn't seem to care too much and just, like, splashes himself. Oh, that feels great. Oh my god. I can feel my nose again. He tweezers his long, his like almost smushed in and compressed nose, pulling it back out. His appendages are sort of a bright pink. It's been hard searching recently. You followed the trail as best you could this far, but Ashen Knight, I gotta be straight with you. Your human companions are holding you back a bit.
Yeah, Ashen Knight kind of figured that a while ago, but he's like, what am I gonna do about it? And I mean,
I'm in no rush. I got forever.
And the other big thing for Ashen Knight is, like, considering what they just went through, the fact that Thog was pushing this hard to get through, he's like, I ain't gonna say shit, you're doing your best, clearly.
Yeah, it's been slow and relatively brutal going. You've done your best to trace the remnants of those creatures bound up with ash and fury, but it sort of loses a lot of focus in Keravia. There's so much nightmare in this place that it almost feels like, it feels like someone calling to you from a long distance is now being interrupted by the sounds of a raucous rock concert. Oh. It's difficult to pick up the noise at this point, but you believe you've managed to track it to the best of your ability to the far north. Thog finishes, like, cleaning himself off and moves over and collapses backwards up against the wood, sort of sliding to a sitting position. Whew. You know what? I'm gonna move away from the door. He proceeds to stand up and nestle himself between the wood and these barrels.
I think that is wise. I will sit by the door instead.
And Ashen Knight sits down, crisscross applesauce, and leans his back against it to prevent anything from getting in.
Oh, thanks. Man, this hasn't been easy, but, like, given struggling against the elements and dealing with, continuous blizzards for one of the first times in my life, Fug says, like, rubbing his arms. I'd pick this any day over the demons around your castle.
Demons? Is that how you would describe them?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a dog explode into, like, what looked like meat spaghetti made out of blades. I think demon's appropriate.
On the contrary, actually.
Huh?
Demons are a form of order, law, restrictions, even. They are bound by a set of rules. Some they have set themselves. No, the castle was nothing of the sort, and most certainly not its residents.
Bug goes quiet. I think, actually makes sense. Marcus is all about contracts and signing things and loopholes. Huh.
Precisely. No, the only reason there was any amount of order there was because I demanded it, and even still, chaos reigned supreme.
Thug sighs and looks over, like almost seeming to look past you out to that blizzard outside. Well, wherever they are now, hoping they're not dealing with any more of that crap.
I can't imagine so. Your friends were quite effective in assisting with the removal of Crowhenge. It was a concentrated form of chaos. I mean, I don't know how much you saw yourself, but...
Not too much, admittedly.
You are very fortunate, young man.
Thug, you're this young man and actually lets out a, he lets you continue, but you definitely hear a laugh come from him.
The rooms changed continuously, with no rhyme or reason unless I demanded it, and even then, it was rather finicky. No. The castle was made of madness. And that madness and chaos can only come from one place. The very place the towers that kept crawling to reach, as if trying to go home again. I know the feeling a bit.
So, if it's not coming from down below, then it's gotta be coming from... Thug motions with his thumb straight up.
Above. Yes.
He hits his head back against the wood behind him and slides now, to the point that only his neck is resting upright. Well, that's great. He lets out a pain noise and then, peeks up again. Head and eyes clearing the pile of lumber. Well, how'd you fight back against all that chaos stuff? Yeah, actually, he scrambles back upright. How'd you say sane in all the middle of that? You pick up, good coping mechanisms? Maybe a fun hobby?
The only way to defeat chaos is with order, law, and restrictions. And I had a very simple mantra to follow.
Oh?
A man gives, a monster takes.
That's enough?
It seems so.
Oh. Thug crosses his legs. Yeah, I used to be a manager of a place. I had so much trouble keeping everybody in line. And, I don't know, I guess I tried to be lax with them. Tried to tell them so long as they got their work done, that's enough. Oh. He relaxes back. Maybe stricter laws was the way I should have gone about it. Whatever.
I think it depends on the individual.
Huh? Like in your case, when you're dealing with the abstract concept of chaos, maybe middle management techniques might not be the best. But, your set mantra was the way to go about it? I don't know. I'm just seeing a lot of ways. I'm seeing a lot of ways that, your chaos castle full of constant nonsense was actually very similar to orders from both my boss above and, the kind of crap that the people below me would get up into. It was always, Thog, build a new attraction. Thog, build a new room. Thog, make sure that this fire's put out on time before it spreads to the highly flammable end. He seems to stop venting for a second. I just, I was just maybe fishing for, like, I don't know, some, if a mantra works, I'll try to have a mantra, because, like, it's not like I'm free of those problems anymore either, you know?
As I stated, I think it's different for each person. I think it also does help that
He just looks at his hand.
I was gifted something when my humanity was taken, allowing me to fight back.
Yeah. All I was given when I was promoted was this gun. He looks down at his hand. I mean, once again, I could use that to try to enforce order, but I'm pretty sure that's not okay with considering my current employees.
Possibly, but I think it is a sign that you are superior in some capacity. You indeed have an impressive means of control.
He gestures to the gun.
But you don't need it. It's merely there as a backup, just in case, but you control the chaos on your own. Because you seem to have your own regulations and rules.
Yeah. Maybe that mantra could help me, like, be a little bit less stressed out about it in the process, then. Okay, I'm gonna give one a shot. Okay. Thog rubs his temples and focuses in. A good employee takes his shoes off before he comes in the goddamn bar. Marcus, you asshole. He stops and thinks, nah, that's way too specific.
Most of that is fine. I think the direct attack could lead to some consequences. Because the last time I had strong opinions and directed them at Marcus, apparently that wasn't kosher, so...
Yeah, he's surprisingly not cool about a lot of stuff, like... I don't know, you'll never find a more tenacious guy in the entire universe, and then you insult, like, his loot collection or something, and suddenly it's all, Thog, you don't understand. Thog, you gotta try to be more sensitive about this stuff. Thog, if you insult the loots to their faces, they'll curl, and I won't be able to play them anymore. He rattles on. Okay. Depriving it of the personal attack, a good employee... No. You know what? This isn't for them. This is for me. A good boss looks out for his employees, and his employees look out for him. Kinda simple, but like, I don't know, kinda works for the situation we're in, maybe?
Ashen Knight just nods.
It doesn't need to be anything deep or complicated, merely a belief that you would like to strive for. And even better if it's one that you can attain. And I am optimistic. In the short time that I have been with you, I think that's easily achievable.
Thanks, seriously, thanks, yeah. I'll try to keep this in mind the next time the bar's on fire. Like, suddenly there's a crack on the roof. This loud, just grinding, grating noise as someone moves down, actually reintroducing himself to your company. You didn't think there was an entrance on this side of the fucking building, but, well, someone makes one. Colvin punches in through the roof, a block chimney. Hey, guys! Oh, what'd you find? Yeah, there wasn't a mountain there after all. Okay. That's great. Thog stops and starts to stand up, reaching for something. A good boss watches out for his employees, and good employees watch out for his boss. What are you saying? A good boss watches out for his employees. Good employees watch out for his boss. Thog moves forward and puts a hand on Colvin's shoulder. Glad to have you here, buddy. Thanks. Block up that roof. On the far side of the world, Enian finally finishes her trek. coming to rest at the merchant capital. This stronghold, this bastion of money and wealth, still stands out amidst the pockmarked landscape of Tannhauser. A large gathering of people is in front of her, all of them rabbling and rousing. She moves in, closing the distance slightly, trying to figure out exactly what's going on at the head of the crowd, when a great noise punctuates it. That's right, everybody, step up. We have, I've got food, got lots of spare food, if you want it. They take a step forward. Cool, that's great, you're mostly interested in the food, I get that. But look, we're working on lots of alternatives. Me and my friends, we busted our ways on in here, right? I figure it should be easy to bust our way out. Somebody in the back. Is that what the catapult's for? No, the catapult is a formality. Inian in the back. What the heck does that mean? She diminutively shoves her way up to the front. Whoa, hey Inian, everything going okay? For the most part, yeah. I've got a strange collections of rock shavings. Oh, cool rock. Kier, looks down at them. And I have a tiny man in a bottle. Hello. Homunculus twitches on her hip. Oh, cool man. Yes. I'm here to deliver a very important message to the silverfish. Oh, them, yeah. No, I've been working with them actually the last few days. They've been massively helpful in getting more food out to the public. Everyone starts to actually just gather around one by one, taking more and more of this stuff. Inian looks around at the town as a whole. Well, where can I find them? I was told to catch up with them. Yeah, right back here. Kier sort of, grabs her by the hand, leads her away in this direction. Everybody moves in and, at a relatively orderly pace, starts to actually distribute the food. Seems like things on this end are going pretty good. Kier brings Inian into what appears to be a large meeting hall. The area is alive with conversation. It seems like, actually, there's a certain liveliness to the mercantile capital that is not present in the rest of Tannhauser. It's all been silent and windswept moors, large expanses of black forest-like foliage. But here, it seems life is, to the best of its ability, thriving. But almost all of this belies a certain feverishness. The best way to describe it is a quiet desperation, almost a willingness to ignore the crisis that is occurring elsewhere. They move in. Hey boss, I'm back! Silverfish stands up on the far side of the room. They look probably a little bit more tired than Inian expected, but they're still keeping it together to the best of their ability. Oh, you're back. Okay, interesting. Come in. What do you have for me? I have a bunch of rocks. She walks in and, Silverfish stops, actually. Sorry, I got a little overeager. I actually have a guest already. They look over at the door and it slowly cracks open.
Ah, Silverfish, thank you so much for allowing me to recuse myself to your study.
Of course. Anything for a guest and friend of Marcus. Silverfish looks a little tired and beleaguered. Inian takes a step forward. Friend of Marcus, you say?
This man is wearing a heavy, formal, and very proper coat over a vest, a cravat, just the image of perhaps a merchant, perhaps some sort of bureaucrat, but either way, far too fancy for his own good. He smiles the sort of warm smile that just makes your skin crawl.
Inian looks over to you in a second of friend of Marcus, huh? Unexpected ally? Ooh, maybe somebody I could, some childhood friend who I could poke him about. And then sees your expression, sees the smile, and her own smile breaks. You hear the sounds of glass shattering, and she's like, oh, is Marcus in trouble?
Well, as is so often the case, that's up to him. But I don't believe we've been introduced.
Yeah, my name is Inian. I'm a witch. Name's Kier. Kier Fiore. He, looks around the room to Silverfish. Silverfish just looks at Kier with, I'm an inventor extraordinaire.
Ah, wonderful, Inian and Kier. My name is Ven. It is simply a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you have some time, I would dearly love the opportunity to pick your brains about young Master Valafi.
And with that, time passes. Outside, Silverfish sits, honestly, like, in an undignified position for them. Their feet are up on the table. They're just, like, rocking back and forth, sort of letting the blood flow and collect, gather in their arms, and then sending it rushing back to their head. Maybe some desperate method to wake up, or some gesture of maybe frustration at the current situation. But, given enough time, the door cracks open and Inian and Kier walk out, looking quite pale. They start to move past. Silverfish looks back. So, how did it go? Inian just slowly shakes her head and Kier goes, man, Marcus is in trouble. Meanwhile, in the room, Ben sits behind the desk of the Silverfish.
The man sitting at the desk takes a small leather-bound journal out of his coat, smooths it out on the table, licks his finger, turns a few pages to find some blank real estate, and takes out a quill pen as well, and spends some time scratching away in the notebook. And the witch, and the mechanist as well. He snaps the book shut and replaces it in his coat, leans back, sort of tenses his fingers on the desk, and stares with great intensity into space somewhere in front of him. Of course, I'd find you and your band of hangers-on here, of all places. Why not? Not even a month since Crowhenge, and you've already managed to put your foot in another steaming pile of chaos. He stands up from the desk and begins to pace the room. Oh, Marcus Valafi. You've caused an awful lot of trouble for an awful lot of people.